All right, hey guys, welcome to the video. If you're new here, my name's Curtis, and today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite fragrance houses, d'Orsay. Are you familiar with this house? They're a fragrance house that I discovered towards the back end of 2024. At the time, they had released 3 extraits, and so I had tried those extraits, ended up purchasing 2 of them. And then just recently, a few weeks ago, I went to the d'Orsay fragrance boutique in Tokyo, and I sampled a few of their fragrances. I ended up purchasing 2, and at the time after the purchase, the owner of that boutique, he ended up giving me 2 free samples. One of those samples is from their normal, just regular line. This one is called AC. It also has a French name, but I'm not even gonna attempt to pronounce the name. So AC, and then he also gave me CG. So I'll be putting both of these fragrances on skin today and giving you my first impressions. So if you're curious to hear my thoughts and opinions about these fragrances, then let's go. All right, so the first fragrance we'll be starting out with is CG. Now, one of these fragrances, either AC or CG, I did sample at the store, but it was on paper. And so I can't remember which one it was. And so he ended up giving me, the sample of one of these, and then just added another sample to give me as well. So I can't remember, but I haven't tried either of these on skin, so it will be a first impression. But I can't remember if it's CG or AC that I smelled from the paper at the store. So let's see. So this is CG. I'll be putting this on my left hand here. Man, the d'Orsay sprayers are so good in these samples. Some of the best I've ever seen. Okay, so immediately you're hit with kind of a floral, almost very green. This fragrance is very, very green. There is some slight citruses in here as well, but this comes off very fresh, almost kind of invigorating in a way. But at the same time, this almost kind of makes me feel like I'm out in like a big, large, grassy area, sitting under trees, maybe having a picnic or something like that. That's kind of the initial vibe how this one kind of makes me feel. This one is just very light and airy, but extremely kind of refreshing. It's almost like the spring breeze that I'm smelling. And as that breeze is kind of blowing, it's kind of also bringing kind of the aromas of the trees and the grass and just the life around me. You know, the flowers that are kind of blooming amongst the grass too. It's kind of bringing me wafts of that. There is something like, this is quite floral though, but I'm not sure as to what kind of florals are in this. It's definitely not rose or anything like that, but it might be some kind of like white floral, but I'm not 100% sure. But there's almost too like something kind of almost slightly rubbery in a weird kind of way. I know that combination of like green floral, but there's almost something kind of like rubbery, and I don't know how else to explain this or what this could be. It's almost slightly strange, but not really off-putting, but I can definitely pick up on that. I've never really smelled, like I have smelled fragrances that come off slightly rubbery, and sometimes you'll come across this in like leathery fragrances. Now this comes off kind of rubbery, but not in the same way as like you might find in like a leathery type of fragrance. I wonder what this is. That's interesting. I'll have to look up the notes later, but this is a very intimate fragrance. And that's one thing that you'll find out about d'Orsay fragrances. They're quite intimate and elegant. They wear very elegantly. So, again, if you're looking for a fragrance that is beast mode projection, like, that's gonna be a room filler, these aren't those types of fragrances. These fragrances whisper rather than shout. There's a real beauty in their subtlety. And that's what the House of d'Orsay is all about. It's about quiet elegance, very refined fragrances. And that's one thing that I really, really love about this house. And I think that's why this house, me living here in Japan, d'Orsay fragrances work perfectly and they fit extremely well in the Japanese culture and aesthetic here. So that rubbery smell is slowly starting to subside a bit. But this is pleasant. Is it a fragrance that I would deem full bottle worthy for me right now? Probably not, but it is a very pleasant fragrance. I'll definitely, go through this sample. There's something unique about it, but I can't quite put my finger on it. But it is quite fresh, very green, floral. Yeah, it's a fragrance for springtime, in my opinion. All right, so that was CG. CG, pretty good one. The other day, so this one is AC. So let's get this one open, get this one on skin here. I'll be putting this one on my right hand. All right. All right, man, these sprayers are good. Interesting. Okay. I'm kind of getting incense in a way. What this is reminding me of, what's that fragrance? There's a fragrance by Penhaligon's. God, what is it? It's like an incense vanilla fragrance. I reviewed it on the channel. I gave you my first impressions of it on the channel. I'll put a little tag in the video with reference to that video. I can't remember the name of the fragrance, but that's immediately where my mind went when smelling this. But this is like, this comes off very spicy, a bit woody. There's definitely vanilla in here for sure. And almost something kind of like, like kind of, how can I explain? I feel like it's slightly lactonic in a, what is this? But it kind of has like a very kind of leafy green type of fig note in here. At least that's the vibe that I'm getting. But it's kind of like a spicy, green, woody, figgy type of smell. But that vanilla, you can definitely pick up on that vanilla in here. It's even a bit musky as well. But the vanilla in here, the way that this fragrance comes off, like I said, these fragrances are so elegant, light, and airy that even though this fragrance has kind of like incensey, kind of vanillic vibes to it, figgy type of lactonic qualities as well, I feel like it's a fragrance I could still wear here in the summertime in Japan just because of the elegant nature of these fragrances. I feel like I could totally pull this one off. This is good. I mean, I like it, but I wouldn't purchase this as a full bottle. Like, it's just not necessarily my style of fragrance. I do enjoy it, but yeah, not something that I would necessarily wear. Not that I would be opposed to wearing it, but we like what we like. It's definitely a good fragrance, very well made, but not full bottle worthy for me. But going back to the CG fragrance, it's kind of nice to have the contrast between the two because this one's very fresh floral green. This one's a bit more slightly more deep, still very light and airy, but has that vanilla kind of incensey, woody spiciness. So it's kind of nice to bounce between the two. I would say out of the two, I kind of prefer CG a bit more, but I'm a huge fan of green fragrances. While this kind of does have like a green tinge to it, I feel like it's like slightly figgy, and that's what's kind of giving it that kind of slightly green tinge. But this one has that green kind of almost rubbery like freshness that's slightly intriguing, not off-putting, but like interesting about it, because I haven't really smelled that in a fragrance before. I wonder what that is. I'm gonna have to look up the notes later, but both of these fragrances are very well made, high quality. So I mean, you basically wouldn't go wrong with any of these fragrances. It's just kind of finding your own preferences in terms of what you like. But yeah, these are both great fragrances. Probably I won't be purchasing full bottles of either of these, but definitely solid ones and ones to check out if you're interested. All right, guys, so that's all I have for you for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed today's content. And let me know down in the comment section, have you tried any fragrances from the House of d'Orsay? What are some of your favorites? Well, I hope you guys are staying healthy and well, and I'll see you in the next video.